We both heard the president warn oil companies about hiking those prices, but the big picture here is how might this storm actually and the loss of U.S. oil production, even if it's just for a couple of days, affect gas prices? Ed, let's start with you on that one.
Well, I mean, just that statement alone shows a complete lack of knowledge on how oil prices go up and down. I mean, the price of oil goes up and down based on the supply and demand and what the price is in the pits in Chicago, where they're trading oil futures. So the idea, and he continues to go back to this idea that oil companies continue to, affect exactly where oil prices are going to go, and it's a supply and demand game. And the oil prices are dictated by supply, literally supply and demand in the pits in Chicago. So the oil companies have very little to say in where oil prices are going. And Biden continues to fall back on that as though they're a bunch of culprits out there and thieves trying to steal from the American people, which is not the case at all. Now, but to speak, directly to where oil prices are going to go, there is going to be, a reaction. Prices are already up a little bit, and that should subside, from this, complete, shock to the system and go back to the normal pricing of how oil and gas gets priced. But right now, it's just, a supply and demand game that's out there.
Terry, the reality is, particularly in Florida, and let's just kind of focus on Florida, there is a bit of a spike in demand because of this storm as people were just trying to fill up their tanks just to make sure that they were protected as the storm came in. Do you expect that to impact things?
Sure. I mean, first of all, the price at the pump is set by the gas station owner, not by oil companies, right? That's what I think that's what he's really getting at, is he was telling station owners not to gouge their customers. But, there's reports, and you just showed it, that some of these stations are literally out of gas. So it's a market system, and you have to allow these people to earn a profit. This is really more of a political statement that he's making, in my opinion. And if anything, he's really put the country at risk by depleting the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. I mean, we're down to a third of what we had less than a year ago. So eventually that's going to lead to much higher prices. But in my opinion, he doesn't care until after the election.